Merry Christmas. I hope that you have better things to do today than watch YouTube videos, so I'm going to keep this really short. But on today of all days, you're supposed to be at home with your family, enjoying fellowship and feasting and gifts, and that's great. But I also want you to remember that Christmas is about more than just those warm, fuzzy feelings and things. Christmas is remembering the birth of Christ, the incarnation of Christ, who came down to be the sacrifice that pays for the sins of his people, takes them away, and makes them reconciled to God in him. This is the true meaning of Christmas, but there's far more to the coming of Christ than even just that. I recently attended a interfaith performance of Handel's Messiah. That was how it was introduced, and that's not necessarily wrong. You could certainly have an interfaith choir and orchestra performing Handel's Messiah. You could certainly have an interfaith audience listening to Handel's Messiah, but Handel's Messiah, which is the music that you're hearing now, was written mostly from the book of Isaiah. There's nothing interfaith about Handel's Messiah and the glory of God that it proclaims, or the book of Isaiah that describes the coming Messiah, because it talks about what Jesus Christ will do for us and the world and even the kingdom of heaven. It's a really big work, and that's because the work of Christ is a really big work. But what's fascinating is it is two things. It is large, the way that it affects the world. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and of the increase of his government there will be no end. But it is also an incredibly personal thing, where the Son of God comes down to pay for the individual sins of his individual called people. And he has a direct relationship with them, and he intercedes directly with the Father on their direct individual personal behalf, which is good news. It's a great news of the gospel. And the incarnation of Christ is so fascinating because he doesn't stop being God. He is very God of very God and very man of very man when he is here on earth, walking in our shoes, experiencing the same sorrows, the same temptations, the same difficulties, and the same injustices that we do. He can relate to us on this individual level, but he is also this great shepherd and the head of the church and the King, as I said, of kings and the Lord of lords. He is going to intercede directly with the Father on your behalf, and not a single one of his people will be lost out of his hand. And he is also, at the same time, going to be placing all of his enemies under his feet. I want us to remember both of these things together at Christmas, and not just the baby in the manger, but everything that his coming implies. There are other religions and other political systems that struggle with both of these concepts. The collectivists want big groups, but they struggle when it comes to individual rights and individual people. And then there are the individualists, who are very focused on their own personal experiences and their subjective take on things, but they struggle to actually combine together. It is Christ that is able to do both of these things. It is Christianity that is able to solve this problem of the one and the many. And I want to read you just a little bit of Colossians 1, starting in verse 15, talking about the incomparable Christ. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, both in heavens and earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is the King. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. He's also the head of the body, the church. He's the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he himself will come to have first place in everything. For it was the Father's good pleasure for all the fullness to dwell in him, and through him to reconcile all things to himself, having made peace through the blood of his cross. Through him, I say, whether things on earth or things in heaven. The magnitude of Christ's authority cannot be overstated. And yet, this is the message to the individual. And although you were formerly alienated and hostile in mind, engaged in evil deeds, yet now he has reconciled you in his fleshly body through death, in order to present you before him holy and blameless and beyond reproach. That is the message that I want you guys to focus on. Both the incredible might and power and authority of Christ, who will bring his kingdom, all of the desires that he has to master his kingdom and share his glory with the world to pass, without ever losing sight of a single lost sheep, without ever losing any part of the mercy that he came to demonstrate here on earth. So, I want you to listen to some of this music from Handel's Messiah. I want you to read from Isaiah and some of the other books today, and I want you to give glory to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords that you can have a relationship with. Merry Christmas.